Ani bojo Renee Lemoyne Indigenous Nandacha Ginich Indigenous Kabalak Dodam Kipawang Donchaba. Hello, I'm Renee Lemoyne. I am the STEM learning coach, and I'm from Kabalak First Nation in Kipawak, Quebec. And today I'm going to be talking about time management strategies. So these things have helped me thoroughly through school. So I'm going to share these ideas with you. So the first one is to schedule your time. Okay, so when at the beginning of a week or something, you need to study for a test, you need to work on a lab, you need to do all sorts of things. So sit down and write. You can write out, hour by hour, half an hour by half an hour, every 4 hours. It's up to you. It depends what you need to do. And you can write it out like I have shown here, like a quick example. Like at 9 o'clock, work on math, and then at 11 on biology, and at 1 o'clock, go on a walk, 4 o'clock, eat. Just things you need to do in the day, however they work for you. And my other idea for this is that when you do this, you can write in all this time for work and all these wonderful things you want to do, but it can't strictly be work, and maybe eating in between, because you're gonna burn yourself out that way. So make sure when you do this, when you start this up, that you write in time for fun, for things you want to do, like going outside. Maybe that's more of a chore, but something that isn't strictly work is really important to keep in this. And also make sure you don't put too much in too little time. Like say you have a lab report to work on, don't write 1 hour for the lab report and then your lab is after that hour, say. Make sure there's some wiggle room in there so that in case something goes wrong, in case that lab takes you an hour and a half, say, that your whole day doesn't fall apart, that you don't get set into a panic because you tried to crunch too much into the small time slot. The other thing would be, another tip could be to, in case you're someone who gets lost in their work, you're just so immersed in it, you don't notice the time passing, set alarms for every hour when it's the time to change tasks so that you remember to change tasks and you don't get stuck on one and then your whole day is gone and you're like, oh no, all of these things didn't get done. So further, this is something I just recently put in, or started using for myself, is a list system that prioritizes your tasks. So you can do it every day, every week, every month, every year even. And what happens is you have list A, list B, list C. So list A is for things that absolutely need to get done in the set amount of time. Like if it's a daily list, they need to get done that day, weekly, same story, and monthly, yearly. And then list B are for things that you would like to get done in that certain time frame, but if they don't quite get done, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And list C is more for things that don't have a time constraint that you just want to do. Like if you were to start working on your flexibility, say, that could be on list C because it doesn't have a start and an end, and there's no, due date. You don't need to reach a certain level of flexibility by a certain day. So stuff like that. And obviously like list A would be more like your assignments that are due. Things need to get done at such and such a time. And further, make sure that you complete these lists in the right order. Don't be jumping around and just completing list C and leaving list A all by itself. Like make sure you really prioritize list A to keep this as a successful mechanism. My last tip, I think the most important one, is to pay attention to how much time you're spending online and on social media that isn't productive, because I'm sure like you can get lost on TikTok for hours and hours and hours, and suddenly, you've run out of time for your assignments or something else you needed to do. So if you can, try to reduce the amount of time that you spend on these platforms, and you'll probably find you'll have a lot more free time, and things will just become so much easier with school. So these are my tips for today. I hope you enjoyed. Be great.